everybody, it's Tony the Blacksmithing Gamer, and here we do everything from blacksmithing to 3D printing to bring the things inside the video games into the real world. This week, Warcraft III Reforged comes out, and with that, we are making Frostmourne. Let's get started, I'll show you how we did it. Alright, so we are starting the Frostmourne. Now to get ready to start building the Frostmourne, I reinstalled Warcraft 3. The Reforged isn't out yet, so I'm getting in the mood. And we're making the Frostmourne. How much more excited can you get? Well, I don't think I'll have a better excuse to make the Frostmourne than now. And yes, I know I'm definitely not the first one to make it, and in fact probably hundreds of people have made it at this point. But I've always wanted to have Frostmourne, so why not? What better time than now? Let's go to the 3D printer. Oh, it's starting. So, one thing on this sword is you might want to do some sanding on all the connections, because the tolerance are super tight on this guy. So it's a good thing, generally speaking, but when you're trying to get it all together, it can get really tough to get these guys together. So I have to do a whole bunch of sanding, filing, especially on these joints here. All in all, it fits really well together, and it's really well designed. I mean, I could only hope to get this proficient at 3D design at some point. In the meantime, we have the Frostmourne assembled. Let's get to the finishing work. It's pretty chilly. I should probably put on a jacket. So we have the Frostmourne up, ready for some primer. Just gonna give it a coat of primer, start filling in some of the joints a little bit, and then move on to paint. So here we go. We got first coat of primer on the Frostmourne. Next, I think I'm going to start filling in some of these seams, sanding, then we'll move on to the next coat of primer and paint. Let's get going. All I'm doing here, I'm using my putty. It's auto body filler, old screwdriver, and grab some on the screwdriver and start filling. Well, I did the first sanding on this guy. Came out pretty well. There's a few little slow spots I'll still fill in, but I'm starting to not being able to feel my fingers again. So I think it's time to give it a little coat of primer, let it dry, and we'll be back to sanding. So all I'm doing here is just a little bit of spot treatment. I'm getting a few of the spots that are a little bit low, and filling them in so I could sand them down tomorrow. Let this dry overnight. So I got the Frostmourne here, getting ready for the final primer, and then we'll start painting it. So I did a few sandings and primers on it already, so it's starting to look pretty good in terms of sanding and priming. So I think we're almost ready for that final paint. So let's give it another coat of primer and paint. I decided to try two different techniques on this Frostmourne. First one I tried on the back, which is a lot more busy, as you could see. I tried to make some ice-like patterns, and it turns out I think it looks more like lightning. But on the front, I definitely used the less is more technique here. So I'm kind of liking how the front looks a little bit more. So I'm gonna leave it. Not so busy, and gonna put a few little accents on there still, and I think we'll be done Frostmourne. Real quick, I'm trying to get my first 1,000 subscribers still, so if you enjoy my content, hit that subscribe button down there below. So got my handle material here. Just going to cut a strip along the edge, and then I'm going to wrap the handle. We're continuing our cosplay segment this week. Check out this week's cosplayer. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button down there below. Or if you want to follow me on any of these social media websites, you can get daily updates on the projects I'm working on. Thanks again for watching. I'm Tony, the Blacksmithing Gamer, where every week we're making things from the games we love.